Arrival is one of those weird movies that doesn't seem to fit quite in with the kind of stuff we like to talk about on this channel. It's not the kind of film that indulges my fandom, evokes a personal response, or is even the kind of thing that it would be remiss of me as an internet reviewer to not review. But at the same time, it's not an instance of me plumbing the depths of the indie or festival scene for the shiniest of hidden gems or the smelliest of compacted trash. As such, it warrants a more casual analysis, somewhere between an air of velvet armchairs and decanters of expensive red wine and loud incomprehensible noises with excessive amounts of profanity. Which is fitting because that's basically the kind of movie Arrival is. It sells itself as the thinking man's alien invasion movie, which realistically means that it's just like any other alien invasion movie, except the aliens aren't explicitly evil, and the story is being told from the perspective of someone who isn't in the military, which immediately puts it leagues ahead of most blockbusters where a bunch of meatheads in uniform defeat the aliens by rolling their eyes and sassing them to death. Instead, our main characters are Amy Adams as a college linguistics professor and Jeremy Renner as a theoretical physicist. When a dozen enormous floating cereal bowls appear at various locations around the globe, the two must work together to ease rising international tensions by interpreting the language of the aliens with the help of the United States military. Oh, for crying out loud. Anyways, they're tasked with discovering the purpose of the aliens' visit by not only translating the aliens' language, but also attempting to teach them our own, and good luck with that. I would have thought that the fastest way to convince an alien race that Earth isn't worth conquering is by trying to instruct them in the unholy mess that is the English language, but hey, Amy Adams is the professor here, not me. Outside of the remote Montana Valley where the vast majority of the film takes place, we're also given insight into how other social, economic, and religious groups would react to a non-hostile alien presence. As nice as that is, it's mostly presented in news channel montages, which is an effective, albeit rather boring, method of showcasing your world building to the audience. Overall, the effects are good and the cinematography serves the movie perfectly well, even if it's not something worth drooling over. What is certain is that the focus is on the story in this one, and what that means for the viewer is that it's a very dialogue-driven movie, which also means that it's a pretty slow boil. Wait, no, let me rephrase that. It's a really slow boil. You could boil a swimming pool with Leonard Cohen's body heat faster than this movie. What, too soon? Nah. And what makes it feel even longer is the copious amounts of flashbacks. Granted, the flashbacks actually have a point in the end, significantly more so than most other movies with a similar amount. It's not like Suicide Squad where it's just mounds of exposition, but I still think they could have left about half of them out and it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. The real meat of Arrival, however, the real raspberry jelly and the proverbial donut, is the twist. There is a twist, it is a big twist, and the movie cannot function without it, which means two things. One, I'm not going to spoil it for you because the movie is about problem solving, and if I give you all the answers, then the problem is irrelevant. And two, whether or not you like the twist will determine whether or not you liked the movie. I enjoyed the twist, therefore I enjoyed the movie. What I can tell you is that it involves time. Now, time is a can of worms that may be simultaneously both alive and dead depending on the angle of view. What time as a plot point usually does is render all analysis null and void because we're too busy focusing on the logistical flaws of the whole thing. Fortunately, Arrival does not involve time travel per se, but it still might raise a few more questions than it answers. And there will be questions because you can't really miss the twist. If at any point you're worried about getting lost in the mechanics, the movie does just kind of stop at the end to explain them, which does kind of smother the gravitas a bit, but not to a significant degree. So I guess in that respect, the movie accomplished its goal. It did get us talking, and not just about how cool it was when that thing blew up, huh guys? I'd like to stress that I do recommend the movie. You can tell I recommend it because the video is short, indicating that I've run out of things to complain about. As for the rest of the aspects of the film, the acting, directing, and score are all equally great. So yeah, take care. I'm glad we could share this laid-back review together. And remember, show love to your fellow space squids. If they ever show up in your backyard, it might just be because they need a hug.
Something like this.